it is okay to recreate yourself, right? I wanted to make a video about this because I was walking home and I was just thinking about how I went through a lot of different things in my life, as everybody have. You feel what I'm saying? Like trauma, dysfunction, pain, betrayal, right? Heartbreak, whatever it is. You feel me? We've all been through a lot of different things, and I think we get to a point where, and I'm speaking to myself as well. If you relate to this, that's what's up. I'm gonna say I got to a point. I don't want to project and I say we get to a point and put y'all in my situation. Y'all might relate, y'all might not. Y'all might just sit back and listen to the story, right? So I got to a point where I realized that the version of myself that I have become was based on all the things that I've been through, especially trauma. So now that I've worked with myself and I've healed, or I'm still healing, now I'm at a point where I'm like, yo, some of that is me, but a lot of that was only me because of what I was going through. So now I'm like, how do I move? How do I walk? How do I talk? What are my hobbies? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe I do like doing this hobby, but not as much. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know now, and I'm like slowly trying to find myself again, slowly trying to figure out who I am now. Because even the YouTube videos that I post on here, and I'll show videos from back when I was young, like a child, and I'm like, I loved making content. I love making music. Still do. Make content, make music. I just came from playing ball, but I gotta reanalyze myself because all of it was either from trauma or trying to prove something, or um, because of certain betrayals, or having a chip on my shoulder, trying to be like, oh yeah, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, based off of certain things that happened in my life, and it became like a pattern for me to lock in on those things and become the best version of myself within those things. So now at 29, I'm like, damn, what do I really want to do? What do I really want to be involved in? How much do I want to be accessible to the outside world, especially when it comes to posting on social media? Do I even like social media? You know what I'm saying? What do I really want in my life? What type of people do I want? Who do I want to align with? Do I want to seek out people that's nowhere around me? Or do I want to just get to know people that's in my vicinity, and then if I rock with them, I rock with them. If I don't, I don't. It gets you to the point where you just like, let me analyze my life and really determine what's next. And I think it's a beautiful thing because it's like the second half of your life. You feel what I'm saying? Or people have so many different layers of life in general, but maybe it's not the second half. Maybe this your third half. Maybe this your fourth half. You feel me? You had the kid era, that's one half, and then you have the adolescent era or the teenage era, and then you got early adulthood. You feel what I'm saying? And then you have like the second half of early adulthood. That's what I feel like I'm at right now at 25. The second half of early adulthood, and I think that's going to go to like 35. You feel what I'm saying? I was looking at the screen all weird because a green dot popped up at the bottom. I'm like, hold up, is the government watching me? Say no. But anyway, so like you got the second half of early adulthood. And the reason why I say I'm blessed and I'm grateful to even be analyzing myself and being able to determine what do I like now, what do I want to do now, is because a lot of people don't get to this point. A lot of people don't get to this point, in my opinion, based off of my observation, because people lack self-awareness and they end up losing their lives in the midst of not having self-awareness. They put themselves in dangerous situations due to possibly lack of self-awareness or just ego or whatever. I also think that people don't get to this point as well because they get stuck in one of the phases to where they don't analyze themselves. They don't analyze their situation. They don't self-reflect. So they get stuck in a certain phase of growth for longer. Because I feel like you go into a certain phase of growth, and if you more of an intellectual person or more of a person that can analyze yourself and be okay with releasing yourself from that time period, then you will graduate from it in a sense. You feel me? So like that, as a young person, you'll realize, okay, I'm no longer that young person. All right, now I'm like a little bit older. I'm like a teenager. I'm no longer that teenager. Now I'm a young adult. So I got to operate differently based off of my growth and based off of just how the world is. And then you get into like, you know, the second part of adulthood where you like, I'm transitioning into like, and when I say adult, I don't mean like your stereotypical adult, you put to carry yourself a certain way. I just mean different parts of growth. I'm just labeling them like that in order to realize you're gonna have different phases, different parts of growth and stuff like that. So yeah, so I feel like a lot of people don't get to the next step of their growth is because they get stuck in one of these lanes for whatever reason. It could be betrayal. That'd be like, I'm comfortable here. I got hurt. And that hurt might catapult you into the next phase. Because you went through that and you realize you got to operate differently. You realize you got to think differently. You realize that you got betrayed because of how you were moving. And how you were moving was only conducive for that part. Now you have to move into the next thing. In a sense to protect yourself, but not in a fear way. You feel me? It's more so like lack of boundaries, lack of love for yourself, lack of care. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying in this video, it's so okay to release who you were in that growth moment, in that phase, in that younger version, in that early childhood or early adulthood or second part of adulthood. You feel me? It's okay to change, to transition. You don't have to stick to the fact that you used to play basketball all the time. Maybe you do it for a hobby now. Like, I think that's the reason why some people get stuck in the mindset of, I've been doing this for so long and now I don't know who I am. And everybody goes through this. Gilbert Arenas talks about this on his show. When he first started his podcast, he talks about how he was in the NBA for so long and his whole identity was around being Gilbert Arenas, the basketball player, that when he left, he had like, $62 million or something like that. He had just signed a contract and he's like, yo, I don't know who I am. So he was so used to his routine, so he would literally get on the highway and drive for hours to a certain destination. He would drive hours just to have something to do, just to waste time. Just drive for hours this way and then drive for hours back. Just to have a routine, but just to fill up his time because he was so used to being an athlete since he was a young person. And I think that applies to anybody, but I think that applies to the phases of life too. We get stuck in that mode to where we like, I'm gonna just keep doing whatever's in this mode, even though it's not beneficial for our lives or beneficial for our growth. And if we were just okay to separate from that thing we used to do for a long time or turn it into a hobby or separate from the mindset of how we carried ourselves during that moment, we can not only release it, and it might cause pain and frustration and confusion, but we can release it, grow, and then move on to the next phase of your specific growth. Like I said, this is not a comparison thing. This is not like, oh, I see Jake and he's in phase 2. I should be in phase 2 because we both 29. No, it's not like that. It's about the fact that that version of you or that part of your life is done. And the reason why you keep going through different patterns or cycles, or God keeps teaching you the same thing over and over, at least trying to teach you, but put you in the same position, is because you got to release yourself from that. You don't fit into that box no more. You've now grown outside of that box, but you're trying to fit your body in there. It's like it's like if the cartel come, I don't know if I want to say this, but my analogies be crazy. It's like if the cartel come out of nowhere and they be like, listen, we got boxes for babies. Oh my Lord. We got boxes for teenagers. We got boxes for adults. You feel me? And then they got the box for the baby, right? And they give it to you, and you like, hold up. And then you keep trying to fit yourself in the box, and you, instead of going back to tell them, this ain't going to work, I can't fit in this box. I need an adult box. You feel what I'm saying? Why is the cartel putting you in the box? I don't know. I'm out of pocket. I have the craziest analogies, dog. Why the cartel putting me in the box, and why are you willingly going into a box that the cartel trying to put you in? What kind of stuff is this, dog? What kind of analogy was that? Listen, my analogies are normally on point. That one was out of pocket, but you get what I'm saying? You no longer fit in that part. And you only fit in that part during that time because your mind, your body, your soul, and everything was connected to you in that time. And you wasn't ready to go here. You wasn't ready to go here. Just like I said, sometimes we fit ourselves back in the past, in the old version of ourselves, in the old phase. It's also on the flip side. Sometimes we feel like I should be over here. I should be doing all that up there. I should be doing all that up there. But you ain't ready for that. So if you try so hard and God not ready to bless you yet, sometimes people get blessed by the devil to where the devil gives it to you right away. And then they try to push themselves into that. Imagine if you in the baby phase or you in the early childhood phase. Remember, I'm just using these because we age at different times. It doesn't mean that you gotta be stuck in that box at that age. But imagine you in the baby stage or the early adult stage or the teenage stage, but they put you in the adult box. You ain't ready for that. Your mind, your body, your soul, you ain't ready. And now you just in there rattling. You in there rattling because you too small and it's too big over here. Now, don't get it twisted. I'd rather that side. I'd rather be put into a bigger box because when I reach there, I'm prepared. I'm ready. But regardless, you're going to get there when you get there. You know what I'm saying? Now, it might prepare you a little bit, but you're going to get there when you get there. So everybody growth happen at different times. Everybody's growth is different. You know what I'm saying? And different ages, different mindsets, different genders. Don't really matter. We all got different everything. Intellect, intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Traumas. And that all plays into who we are and where we are and where God wants us to be and how much he wants us to grow. And sometimes he'll want you to grow into something different that you're no longer aligned with the old version of you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to release it. So that's what I wanted to tell y'all in this video. I just wanted to tell y'all it's okay to release the old version of you and accept the new version of you. Don't get trapped in I used to do this, like Gilbert Arenas, like I said, or like all of us, you know, even though I do content, music, I play sports, I've done a lot of different things. I feel like God blessed me with a lot of different gifts, but I don't attach myself to them. I am Josh that does X, Y, and Z. I'm not Josh, the music artist, Josh, the content creator, Josh, the TikToker, Josh, the YouTuber, Josh, the Instagrammer. I am Josh that has an Instagram. I am Josh that has a TikTok. I am Josh that does music. I am not Josh, the musician. So that gives me room in order to become me as dope as possible, become me that does a lot of different things, and I'm not attached to these different things. So if one of those things stop, or if I lose the passion for those things, I don't feel like I lost some of who I am, because it's not who I am. It's just something that I do. So when you move on to the next phase of your life and you fall in love with that version of yourself, fall in love with the fact that you might grow and change, and new things will be aligned with you, and be okay to accept them, and old things may no longer align with you, so be okay to let go of them. And that could be mindsets that you want to let go of or receive. That could be perspectives. That could be skills. That could be a way of living, something that's more conducive for your lifestyle, or something that's more, healthy for you at that time. So think about that. But you got to do it your way. It's your boy Josh Different. I'm different. You different. We different. I'm out. Subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff.